What's going on, RuneScape.com, YouTube people? It is your boy, John McGearts, here with another video, and I'm just going to start off by summarizing what the video is going to be about. Long story short, I will not be able to complete Road to Max Plat, Road to 10K Traders, etc., because it's just not in the cards, ultimately. Like, I can't do it. So I'm going to just, like, shelf it for now or give it up or whatever, however that can be interpreted. It's just there will be no progress made on it. And honestly, this video has been a long time coming. And I'm going to unpack that, kind of like the reasons why, but I just felt like it was right to make this video so the people who are invested in my channel would not, I wouldn't be leading them on anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So there's that, you know, I won't be doing it. So if that's why you're here, sorry, and feel free to unsubscribe or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now I want to unpack it all and kind of explain it to people who care more, and you know, in a way, this is for myself as well, just to feel like I've covered everything, giving you guys the full picture of what's been going on. I haven't been making a lot of content. I haven't been really progressing the accounts whatsoever. I got up to like roughly 900 accounts, was making some hella bank, whatever. But I've come to a lot of realizations from this project. It was kind of like the beginning of the end of life as I've known it, more or less. Like I finally, in a way, have found myself. So let's just start. It's gonna be really ugly. It's not gonna be good. This is not like a good YouTube video with editing and all the other stuff. But frankly, I don't care about that. Like the this is gonna be a little tangent. There's gonna be tangents everywhere. But there's like the way YouTube is supposed to be done to succeed. I don't give a shit about any of it. Like I've tried I've tried so hard to give a shit, but like at the end of the day, I don't care about anything anybody thinks about that regard, because it's not what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be successful. I'd love to make a lot of money. I'd love for people to be like my fans or whatever, all that other shit. But like uncovering all this stuff over the past month, since let's say March, I got to check the calendar, since I started this channel. So it's been a couple years now, right? You know, really grinding content out, really grinding, trying to like consistency, build like, you know, quantity over quality. Like I always say, and just doing all these things have happened. And what it's been doing is it just revealed me to myself, which is antithetical, if that's the correct word. I should Google that, but just, you know, pretend I'm saying something really cool. Antithetical. Yes. Directly opposed or contrasted, mutually incompatible. So yes, antithetical to what I was doing my entire life. So like what that means is a little bit is that like I've spent my whole life trying to fit in, you know, as a child. Well, let me just back up a second. I'm different than most people, I feel. You know, I haven't met somebody who's quite like me. You know what I mean? There's aspects of everybody that you can kind of have like generalities that you kind of overlap or whatever, and that's how you form social bonds or whatever. But I have literally 0 times fit in to any societal group. Simply put, I guess. Like, I was bullied all through elementary school. I was bullied by my family. I was bullied by just like friend groups. I was bullied, whatever. And I'm not like trying to say like poor me or anything like that. I'm saying it as to give perspective from me. I've never truly fit in. The only time I've been able to really fit in is when I would do, you know, masking, right? You know, where you hold parts of yourself back and you don't let people see that. And, you know, you pay attention to what they do and what they like and what they, you know, what are the qualities that allow you to be allowed into the group without being kicked out, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, I spent my whole life, my entire life. So like I said, I'm not exaggerating when it's family, school, jobs, church, everyone, everywhere. I've had to, and I'm you know, maybe I'm being a little dramatic, being a little bit of a diva here. Everybody, I'm sure, has had to do this on some level. But everything about me, if revealed, people are off-put. don't know what to do. They look at me differently. And that's just how it has been my entire life. And like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who I'm trying to defend myself against. That's my perspective. Okay. I could be wrong, you know, and whatever. There's an entire million different tangents that you can address there or whatever, or pick apart, or I don't know. I don't know who the fuck I'm arguing with. I've spent my whole life on the defense, whatever, to whatever. I've spent my entire life on the defense. But to get back to the point, like, I have faked my entire life. I have become characters. Not in a sense where like I'm some sort of sociopath or anything like that, or a psychopath or whatever, but like I could see the parallels and how people may be off put by that. Like if they, I don't know. Who cares? The main point is that I am different, and when I express myself, people don't want to be around me. Boom. Easy. I'm not in, bruh. Yeah, I'm too weird. Easier to put that way. I'm a weirdo. Whatever. So, that's now. So now, I'm just going to stop. I've accepted who I am. And I've accepted that's going to cost me social credit. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, I'm losing my spots in the hierarchies I've been desperately trying to climb my entire life. Okay? So that's whatever. Makes me feel really weird. It's been a wild ride. Okay? It's been a wild trip. It's been a trip. Okay? But anyway, moving on from that. I've spent my whole life putting on this character to get like friends in school, better positions at jobs, you know, like starting, because I have no high school diploma. I have no diploma. I have no college education or whatever, but I have still managed to enter social groups, move up them, and become like a hotshot, so to speak, whatever, you know, higher on the social hierarchy, not the best anything or anything like that, but good enough where I'm like, I feel community, you know what I mean? Because like, what I'm trying to say is that like, by giving up social hierarchies and stuff like that, like you're losing sense of community, and that's like detrimental to the human experience. You know, we can't, like, I don't know if it's DNA or whatever the fuck, like whatever you ascribe to, it's going to be very lonely. Okay. It's going to be very lonely. That was too painful for me my entire life, but now it's like, whatever. Anyway, so the reason why that's important context is that I've spent my entire life building these characters, whatever, you know, this is how you're supposed to behave in this situation, this is how you're supposed to behave in this situation, and stuff like that. And it's gotten me by. It's gotten me decent paying jobs. I own a house now, you know, whatever. I have a life, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's also comes with the cost that I'm like lying to myself, repressing myself. And I took those habits, you know, we're creatures of habit. We use that, you know, we're adaptive, we're survival based, whatever. So you take what you've used before and you apply it to new situations. So I took that going into YouTube, but I didn't know that taking it into YouTube was going to make it impossible for me to hide anymore, so to speak. Hide from not from other people. That's not what I'm talking about. I've had to play these characters. I've had to literally lie to myself to believe it because of the dopamine system in the brain. You know what I mean? You have to believe something to think it's worth it for your brain to reward you dopamine in response to completing tasks. So that's important because I've lied to myself to say that this is worth, this is all this and that, you know, the crazy stuff I've done, whatever, you know, what you don't know, whatever, just in general. It's been the only time, it's either I lie to myself to get the dopamine or I don't, and then I have none. So then that's like crashing out, you know what I'm saying? Or not really crashing out, but like major depression, I guess, you know what I mean? Like where nothing tastes good, nothing feels good. I used to play video games and do all this stuff, play Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff, playing RuneScape. None of it felt good ever. But I felt like the old habits, like from a job, those habits conditioned me to do it regardless of how I felt. So I was making a lot of progress still, but it didn't feel good. Now, I've lost the line of like why that's sort of relevant, why it's relevant from the YouTube thing. But doing the YouTube thing was different because it's my own thing. It's easy to lie to yourself when you're at your job because you need the job to survive, so it's easy to justify it to yourself. But this thing was my thing. And it was either you can't fake it when it's your own thing, is what I'm saying. Like, you cannot fake it when it's your own thing. There's no justification. It's like, why are you doing this? You have other options, all this other stuff, whatever, whatever. Like, I was doing it and it was my own thing. I was like telling myself that this was supposed to make me happy and that it would never make me happy. And then that would just keep building up and building up and building up. And then I would and I would break and I would lose like weeks at a time where I'm not making any progress. And then that would loop into shame, and that would go into feeling like I'm letting people down, or I'm broken, or nothing matters, or it's all worthless, or I need to check out, or, like just give it all up, cut off everybody, delete my YouTube, delete Discord, delete everybody on my cell phone, get a new number, only talk to my mom and my girlfriend, and, only necessarily, like, that would happen constantly. So then I would finally, like, tell myself some other lie, which would jump me back into the progression, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And it wasn't until I think I stopped. I haven't drank since last October. So I think that's what finally started to, okay. So that was the first step of like, that drinking makes it really easy to lie to yourself. You can just drink, boom, your brain turns off. You're happy for some reason. You don't know why. You're crying, but you already passed out. You got up and you're like, okay, cool. I dodged that day where, like, I had any time to reflect, like the weekend, I'm saying. And then, so then from there, no drinking, because my girlfriend's like, stop that. And I'm like, no, but yes, but no, but yes. And we incrementally worked it. And then I came up with this rule that I won't drink another beer until I make $1 million. So if I really want to drink, I guess I'm going to make some money, right? That was kind of the rule. And I've just, haven't got there yet, so I haven't drank any beer. But it worked out. Somehow it worked out. So alcohol is step one. Removed one of the layers, the substance layers that allowed me to lie to myself. Step two was admitting I have ADHD. Now I know it's kind of like a bombshell, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, who would have guessed I have ADHD? I never ever once thought I didn't have something wrong with me, but I didn't think ADHD was it, because just the contention around ADHD, ADD, or whatever, those neurological disorders, or whatever, and just the way that, like, it's portrayed in media. There's just a lot of debate surrounding a lot of it. But, sitting down, talking, and looking over everything with my girlfriend, and it was just like, you know what? I was diagnosed at one point. Started burping up the eggs I drank. I was diagnosed at one point. I took medication for it. It did work. I was a lot more productive. It allowed me to, like, spring up in my job or whatever. But I didn't take it I stopped taking it because I felt like that, like, I needed to learn to function normally without a medication in case the medication wasn't there, like if the world ended or some shit. I don't know what justification I told myself, but then that led me down a rabbit hole of, like, studying how to, like, manage manage ADHD symptoms without medication, which did, to an effect, allow me to, like, survive and take care of my family more or less. But then, 2 kids come along, mortgage, a lot more at stake, a lot more pressure, a lot more stress, plus then also trying to do this as a serious, like, contender to make me extra income. It piled on a lot of it was too complicated of a life for somebody who isn't, like, I hate using these terms because of TikTok, but, like, neurotypical people are able to, from what I understand, they're able to, like, balance these a lot easier and, like, make better decisions about it. I, as, like, somebody who has, like, I would say a severe level of ADHD, I have to get up, and if I don't have a script to run through automatically from painstaking habits that I've built up over years, there's no chance, like, I cannot break that cycle. If that cycle breaks, then my brain shuts off all the dopamine and I have to go lay in my bed. Like, it's that debilitating. So from finally just saying, yes, I have ADHD, and, like, non-medication is not an option, I finally went to the doctor and then got prescribed on some stuff, which really helped. I'll just keep yapping, I guess. But it's like, there's, like, 2 or 3 main medications. There's, like, the amphetamines, what everybody uses because everybody uses those the party. But then there's, like, 2 different ones. Like, one's called, like, whatever. It's like it's a non-stimulant version, but it, like, it dumps another chemical in your brain, which is, like, associated with focus more so than feeling good, like the amphetamines are. But then there was a third option I didn't know existed, which is it's like methyl dilate or something like that. But the easiest way to understand it is that, and this is my video, I'm going to talk about whatever I want. Anyway, methyl dilate, or I forget what the name of it. I'm just trying to talk and not look stuff up and having blanks like that because I just want the stream of consciousness to make sense. But anyway, amphetamines is like a dopamine faucet. So that's why you like see like bums who are like addicted to meth or crack or something like that. Those are, I call them dopamine faucets. You take them and then it just like surges the dopamine out in response to literally every single action you do. So that's why sometimes you'll see like crazy ones that are like haven't slept for a week, like clapping their hands and being weird. It's because they're getting the same dopamine response that like normal people get from having like a sexual intercourse. You know, that peak feeling you get from that event. That's what those in a nutshell, those types of chemicals do. So then the other one I'm trying to talk about, methyl dilate or something like that. I'm mispronouncing that. It's not a faucet. It doesn't turn the faucet up. What it does is it plugs the drain. So when you do get dopamine, it just hangs around longer because ADHD, one of the two main components of it that like kind of set the two main components in ADHD that like create the problems with your brain is that you don't get a lot of dopamine. You're at a lower dopamine floor, so you need a lot more to feel like a normal person's dopamine. That's why you see ADHD people like cracking out all the time, like they're just trying to stim, like they're spinning in the chair, they're always talking, they're yapping, you know, like me. Okay, so they're always stimming to get that high. But then the second effect of it, this is all orders of magnitude of how severe of a case you have. The second part of it is that it doesn't stay; it goes away as fast as it comes in, because it's pretty vicious on a lot of sides because you have to get high amounts of dopamine. One of the best ways to get high amounts of dopamine is through novelty. But life has an infinite number of variables that are novel, which could trigger a dopamine response. You know, like there's millions of things to be curious about. There's a million things to talk about. There's a million things to do, like whatever. But like when you're a child, you have like no capacity to like exercise any of those things really, because you're forced into a strict standard of living. You have parents, hopefully, but then you have school, which comes with administrators and stuff like that. So they just lock you down. They don't let you do nothing. So then you're just kind of like depressed all the time, right? Okay, because you're not getting dopamine because you're not allowed to hunt that novelty down. But so now you're just depressed all the time. And right, so the drug, it's a faucet, or it's not the faucet. It plugs the drain. So it's cool because I'm not like when I was on the other type, the amphetamine or whatever. I would feel good doing things I hated, like working at Walmart. It would make me feel good or better, you know, so I thought I loved it. So it contributed to the lie. But when I stopped taking that medication, I couldn't use that medication. That's what I'm saying. Like I've been using these like strategies to suppress myself to fit in, okay? But this drug is perfect because I cannot cheat the dopamine. I still have to pick things that are meaningful, okay? So at least that's from my understanding. That's just what I know. I'm not a doctor or anything. It's just my understanding. I've tried both drugs. This drug's really great. So that was awesome on one hand, really like awoke in me, you know, because like when you're, I don't know if anybody has ADHD or anything like that, you're in a haze your entire life. You're just in a haze because you're just hunting highs. You know what I'm saying? Like video games, pornography, etc. You know what I'm saying? Crazy stuff. Like I would I would ride my bike down like this country road with like really steep drops where my bike's going like 35 to 45 miles per hour and I can see the wheels like about to snap off the bike, like, but it felt good. So I wasn't thinking about the consequences. I was like, wow, this feels amazing. Like that's where the risk-seeking behavior comes from. But with this drug, none of that. Because like when I'm doing something like right now, I feel really good doing this. That dopamine is just going to chill there for a while. But before, like I would have a really interesting conversation with my girlfriend or a good friend of mine. As soon as the conversation was done, boop, zero. Literally, I'm feeling here and zero. Because it's just like my drain's broken. Like it's like a big crater. Like there's no tub to hold any of the dopamine behind. Whatever, right? So boom. But it was awesome and it's amazing and it's getting me through, you know, now like when I started taking the drug, bam, my room, deep clean. Bam. Okay, talking to my girlfriend. What do we need to do? What do we got to get done? This room needs to be clean. We need to take care of this problem. We need to take care of this problem. And I'm cranking them out, bro. Like, yeah, whatever. You know, I started this contracting gig doing like data stuff for buddies of mine who started up a company or whatever. Boom, we're making waves. We're doing things. I'm showering. You know what I'm saying? Like my entire life's clicked. I clicked on. I feel the most normal I've ever felt in my life. Or not the most normal, but like I still am who I am. I'm just weird on top of having this like debilitating, like ADHD, I'm sure plays a part into it, but just in general, I am just weird. I'm a different type of guy. Whatever. So it's awesome. But on the other hand, underneath all that crap I just threw at you, there's this problem where, oh, hey, buddy, you can't lie to yourself anymore. Oh, why? Because you can focus now. Everything's clear. Living in a haze before, you could just like make some shit up or do something or get hooked on some fantasy and then run away from whatever you're doing. But now, look at all these feelings you have inside of yourself. Look at all these problems, unresolved guilt, unresolved whatever. You have an avoidance problem because you don't want to get your feelings hurt. You want to be wanted by everybody because your daddy never told you he loved you, except for that one time you got in a rollover accident. Your mom didn't really, I mean, no offense to my mom, she did the best of what she got, but I slipped through the cracks. Society really fucked you over, man. Like, yeah, I mean, like that could be a whole other conversation. Also, if you try to say anything to the people, they can push back on you. So it's like, you think you have these perspectives that they might not even be correct. But you haven't sorted any of it out. Look at all of it, bro. Your brain is a bigger mess than any space you've ever had before. It's a bigger mess than your house, or if you haven't mowed the lawn for 2 weeks. It is a disaster in here, brother. Which, yeah, that's what happened. That started that. Like the medication did that. So now I'm not even like, so, I'm now teetering from, do I want to be on this medication? Do I want to just go back to being who I was? Can I just run from it? Whatever. But, I've made the decision to just attack it head on and just try to, because this is about survival now. Like if I can't get this shit figured out, I will not be a father. I will not be a husband. I will not be like, I will let so many people down. There's going to be a lot of, there's a lot of responsibilities I have to take on. And like, if it was just me, I'd probably just, whatever, fuck it. I'm going to go be a bum. I'll be that guy you see fighting with another homeless guy in the corner. It'll be funny. You'll get a cool video out of it. But, there's other people at stake and I can't let that happen. So it collapsed my entire world in my head. I had built up all this scaffolding around all the lies and what things I thought that were important to me, like whatever, being the hero. What I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's like so far, I guess it's in a way sort of an avoidance. I had this like, so one of my biggest problems I've had as a person has been wanting to be wanted because my daddy didn't love me. Like he did, but he never showed it. So how are you supposed to know that you're loved as a child? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that has, that was the first thing that shattered everything. And it's like, okay, so I've been doing literally everything in my life, like this channel, this challenge, trying to be the best at everything, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Always being funny, editing, all of that stuff has been fueled by this wanting to be wanted, wanting to feel wanted. But that's obviously a problem because then that forces all of my decisions to be based off what other people are. And it's not taking into account what I want. And it's not a want in a selfish sense. It's like everybody I feel is born with some sort of purpose. They want either a purpose or wanting a purpose, right? You know what I mean? Like value, like to accomplish something. We all love movies. We all love television shows because we want to have a story. You know what I mean? You identify with the characters you're watching. That's like in your favorite shows and stuff. And these are your favorite characters because you want that story. You want your story to be like that too, like in a way. Like you want something out of life, whether that's objective or subjective or whatever. That's an entirely other conversation. That's not the point. The point is that I want purpose for my life and I want it to be meaningful or whatever. But these are not just wants. These are needs. And without a need, reason to live, hope, whatever. I don't know. It's like very out there type thinking. There's no reason. If there's no reason for me to live, there's no dopamine. Essentially, at the end of the day. But that is different than what I was doing. I wanted to be wanted because I wanted to be loved by my dad or whatever. And so then I kind of imprinted my parts of that love off on everybody else. And I was trying desperately to get that to fill the void that I felt as a child. That collapsed everything. So I stopped doing everything. I stopped playing like video games. I stopped really trying to pursue social events. I'd made plans with people and I was kind of just letting them fall through, etc. And I was just doing, I was like refining what, like, I felt like my entire life was built on sand, and the tide came in and pulled everything away, and I was just looking for any rock to stand on. And I found a couple things, and it was like, I love my family and I'll do anything for them and I'll support them till the very end. I will sacrifice my life to make sure that they have a well-being, or I'll do my best, whatever it takes for me. I'll convert myself into some sort of resource that gives them a better shot at life, essentially. So that was one thing. The other thing is that, like, I just don't care about really much. The things that motivate me I'm not quite sure what that is. So, like, that's what I've been trying to figure out. And I got some sort of ideas. One of the biggest things that motivate me, which is the thing that make, like, so it's kind of, this is still a really messy subject where I don't really have the word for it. Like, this is not scripted or whatever. This is still like some sort of novel streams of consciousness about the entire subject or whatever, because I've talked about it at length with my girlfriend, with sort of here and there with a couple close friends, a little bit with my brother or whatever, a little bit with my mom, whatever. But I hadn't really figured it all out. So that's why it's all coming out all kind of like fucked up. But whatever. And my throat's gonna get chopped up because that's what happens when I talk this much. But where I'm trying to go with this now is that I love arguing. Oh, The Rock, like things that are like core principles of me. I love talking. I love arguing. So debating. I love conversations. Like, conversations are like really, I don't know where I put them. I like video games and stuff like that. I like a lot of things. But like, one thing I cannot live without is a meaningful conversation. So then that kind of is the perfect segue into like the next part of this, or part of the story, is that I love RuneScape. RuneScape has been there for me. It's been a community. It's been family for me when I had no one. Like I said, I was bullied in school or whatever, and there's people on the internet who would talk to me, right? And I could form meaningful relationships on RuneScape and just have that pseudo sense of societal like membership. And it was awesome. Got me through a lot. And RuneScape is like, the mechanics themselves are fun. I love progression, like doing things. I really like metallurgy. That's like one of the big things that got me into RuneScape in the first place, is because as a young kid, I really liked medieval stuff, but not necessarily the medieval like swords and stuff. What I was really, really interested in was like blacksmithing, aka like metallurgy and stuff, and just specifically steel for some reason. And steel led me to iron, iron led me to coal, coal led me to charcoal, and I love charcoal. I don't know. Charcoal is like one of my favorite things in the world. In terms of like a thing to like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, carbon. So talking. I love to talk. I love to play RuneScape. I love to play games and stuff like that. But right. So that's a good time. I think it's a good time to segue into that. I'm going to do with this channel more of like gaming stuff. I don't want to be locked down just to RuneScape, not just RuneScape, but it's not even like just RuneScape. I could just play RuneScape, but like I've locked myself into this, like running 20 free to play accounts at a time and getting traders online and checking them and stuff like that. And I think that's personally fun, but it's like not good talk content, right? Because that's where the conflict was. I can't sit there and log into 900 accounts and have a meaningful conversation with someone, because it requires so much effort to do that multiscape. Like the type of content I want to make is I want to sit there with these people like this and maybe, okay, restrain yourself. This character I'm not too fond of, Shine Talent, who comments on my stuff. One of my previous streams, my first stream playing Smite, it was just 4 minutes, and I wish I had the chats on there, because for some reason the live replay ain't working, but like 4 minutes into my stream, he hops on and starts talking shit, and I'm just like, bruh, I don't care if you like me anymore. So this was not the day to try to control me. You know what I'm saying? So I just sat there and I literally spent like 90 minutes straight up just like going back and forth with this guy, and it was really fun. It was exhilarating. I didn't really like, when I look back at it, there was always something to improve, or something I crossed my own moral lines, or the moral lines of Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was just like, it was really freaking fun, and it had nothing to do with me like tearing them down. I love debating. I love talking, obviously. I've spent 30 minutes and like when I think about what I've said so far, it's like, how could anybody not? I understand why people don't really, I don't really jive with a lot of people. It's like I've spent 30 minutes talking. I talk faster than most people, I feel. And I haven't really gotten to a point. It's a big mess, but I love the mess, right? Like most people, they like want this like clear, concise, scripted, pretty, but I love the mess, bro. Like I love swamps. I love the woods. I love like dirt, sand, like gross thing. Like I've thought up of systems. I've started studying sewage, charcoal, like, cattail, nettles. Obviously, the main things that people like are into are like hemp and all that type of stuff, or alternatives, whatever. But like, if there's like, it's like, I'm now realizing it now. That's why I'm really stumbling here. It's messes, bro. I like really complicated subjects. I like really, because that's what a swamp is. That's what sewage is. That's what these things I'm talking about are. They're very complicated subjects. They're unexplored, and that's like the root of why I love debate and conversations. And it's not even necessarily about like dunking on anybody or like jockeying for status, which is why I've been so afraid to argue with people. Cause like I feel bad when I beat someone because I know like on some level that they're losing their spot on the hierarchy or whatever, or parts of themselves that which I believe are false. Like having pride, I think is ultimately wrong and it's stupid. But I sympathize with people who do subscribe to pride or whatever world they've built for themselves, their worldview. But I understand that like they're losing a part of themselves, which is why I don't ultimately like debating just to destroy someone. I like debating is to me just a conversation where we're in a sewer in New York City and we're just waist deep in there and we're just looking around and just pulling shit out of the stream of poop. Like, ooh, wow, I found somebody's medication. Ooh, wow, I found this skull. You know what I'm saying? Like it's interesting. That's how I like debates. But like when I see other people debate, it is a battle. It's like we as a society can't kill each other anymore. But the best thing we got is killing people's characters, more or less. Okay? It's nothing here is like specific, but that's kind of the general idea is what I'm going for. So I don't like debating because I don't like hurting people. So I haven't partaken in it, but I do like conversations a lot, and that's how I see debates or whatever. And I'm not even like so against debating people about random shit anymore. Like really complicated subjects that are like taboo to talk about, or like that you're not supposed to talk about, like the rules at the bar. You're not supposed to talk about sports, politics, or religion because everybody's supposed to be there just to turn their heads off. You know what I'm saying? And I like the light brightened, and now you can't even see whatever hair I have, so I'm just looking even more bald. Just embracing that baldness. Really funny. So I want to do stuff that allows me like to just talk to people. Like I've been thinking about doing like call-ins or whatever, just streaming and just having like a public chat open, but like whatever. Oh yeah, let me finish out Shine. But like that stream, like I was like, this is a really wrong day for you to come in here. Cause like, I don't know if you were like addicted to feeling like you were in control of the YouTuber guy or whatever, but like I just bam, 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 bam. And like, yeah, sure, I was disrespectful and he was disrespectful or whatever, but it was just like, it was the first time I had felt alive on this platform and what I was actually like, that there's like the real me inside of me trying to get out through all the things I was doing to repress it. And it was just manifesting itself in different ways. It was influencing each decision without my knowledge, my subconscious or whatever, my true self, whatever self. There's part of me that was like trying to push through the bullshit. And it came out during that chat. And it really just, I was like, damn, that's really what I want to do. Like podcast or game streams or whatever, just whatever media gets me in front of the people that will talk to me about whatever. And gaming's cool and shit, but I don't care about winning. I mean, it goes back to that. I don't like debating people because I don't like them feeling bad. I played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! From when I was like 13 to like 21. Not saying like I was a pro, but as you do something for enough time, you get better at it, and then you get better at it, and you eventually start beating people. So I pulled back, and then I came back into the game further in my life, and I tried going to a local where I had played with people I'd never played before. I had spent like 5 years out of the pro or the competitive scene, and I just kind of threw together some sort of like $50 to $100 like deck or whatever, like Shadow or something like that. Shadow, I think it was just Shadow Stun, if anybody cares. So I went to the tournament, and like it was 10 people. They were really nice guys. I could tell that my skill level, they were not as serious about the game as I was. And my first tournament, I placed second, I believe, or first or second during the first tournament. I pulled like a $120 card. But the thing that made me like eventually stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh again was that this guy I was playing against, he had spent all this money on this deck. He'd spent all this time preparing. And when we were playing each other, they were really close games, which I really enjoy, really close games, grind games or whatever. But like when I finally flipped up that last play, you know, I did this set of actions that I put him like in a Kimura, whatever, you know, or he gave up his chin like in UFC. And I flipped up a card, you know, made a calculated play, knew that he was probably not going to be able to play through it. And when he thought he was good, you know, he had a glimmer in his eye. And when I shut down what he did, because also what I'm not going to do is pretend to lose, because I don't want to, that's not fair to the opponent either. You know what I mean? It makes your relationship fake or whatever. Like, you got to fight your best, you know what I'm saying? Like Dragon Ball Z style. But then when I flipped that card over, he like that look in his eye, I watched it go from, this is the best game ever played, to this is the best game ever, everything's happening the way I want it to, this is really fun, to just emptiness. And like, that sounds really dramatic, but like, I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh right after that. Like, I mean, I think I went to an event to hang out with buddies, but the funny story, I'll just do it since I'm already tangenting for 36 minutes straight. It was my first regional tournament back since COVID. COVID finally, the government's like, you guys can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Hell yeah. So the first one to pop up in our area, they didn't buy a big enough venue. So when I showed up to the tournament, like literally the line, they cut off the line like 3 people ahead of me. So I was like, oh shit, whatever. And even they called more people back in, and then they cut the line off like 2 people ahead of me again. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. It's a sign. But it was awesome because my buddies, who I hadn't seen forever, who came from their town, I came from my town, we went over and skipped over to another local card shop and just played a local, and it was really fun. We were just shooting the shit, talking shit to each other, just like the old days. We were able to relive that nostalgia, and that was awesome. But I hadn't played really Yu-Gi-Oh ever since. Like, I played casually now in Dueling Book with like Edison stuff or whatever, but that kind of feeds into this entire story here I'm talking about. This messy story is that, like, I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to talk to people. I want to discuss things. I want to be at liberty. That's like why originally I had made 20 different channels so that I could follow. It was my way of following the mold, but still allowing myself to exist in the mold, where I could play 20 different characters, 20 different channels, you know, business channels, StarCraft Brood War, relationships, humor, comedy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like telling jokes and stuff, like being like performative and stuff like that. I like that too. There's a lot of things I'm interested in, but like what I'm going to do here now is like, this is just going to be that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And Shine Talent, you know, shout out Shine Talent, my number one fan, number one hater, number one fan. He said that I'm going to kill my channel. And if that's it, I do that, so be it. It is what it is, but I'm going to go down doing what I want to do. And it's going to probably hurt that if I like lose subs, because like I did one sub, or I did that one stream and I lost 5 subs in that one stream, but I gained a member because like when I was cooking that kid, that Shine Town, whatever, you know, I was getting spicy. I was really, you know, I was stirring the pot. I was chef knife cooking. Shout out Lil B. Just really going sicko mode on him. I got a paid member. You know what I mean? So whatever, bro. Like, anything can happen. This feels right. I really hope that you guys who are around or who watch this whole thing, I really hope that like we can form a community. Because like, it's like this, bro. I want to be authentic. And I don't mean authentic as in a douchebag, right? I want to be an honest person. And I want to, man, that's really getting bright. My face is just slowly going away. I don't know what's going on. Like the sun's coming up. Oh, it's noon now. So yeah. I like started it and now the sun's coming out. I need a studio or something. Somebody send me a studio. Anyway, I want to create, I feel like my call in life, like if I, like say God's real, it's okay, hypothetical. God's real and we all are supposed to have a purpose and it's supposed to be for the ultimate good or something like that, which means we're all made for a reason and things happen to us for a reason, etc. Whatever. Suspend disbelief if that's not what you believe in, just to try to understand my point, if that's what, like, or, you know, whatever. That's my best attempt to try to bridge the gap here. So pretend God's real and he made us all for a purpose. If like when I look at my life, the reason I'm alive is to be there in a positive way for the people that fall through the cracks. Because like my whole life story, I can just break it down. And yes, a lot of the people who are gonna hate or pick at it or whatever. There's gonna be something I always could have done better, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Contextually, technically true, whatever, pedantically true. But generally though, society just didn't have the patience for me for whatever reason. I'm not mad at nobody or whatever. It's just the way it is. They just let me drop through the cracks, and I was kind of just like left to rot. And like by the grace of God, grace of Jesus Christ, I was able to like build something outside of society in a way, right? Like I feel like constantly I'm hiding, like, but like, so my purpose, I feel like, is to be there for those other people, my own people like me or whatever, or whoever, you know what I'm saying? And just have an outer community that we can all just be ourselves in, you know what I'm saying? And still accept each other, or like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's the wrong verbiage. Even if we don't accept each other, be the model to allow them to create their own community, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be there for people, bro. People I'm supposed to be there for. The other weirdos, bro. The other weirdos. Like, I want to do that. So I hope that with all this being said, that I can be that for other people, so that they can have a life worth living. That's what I want my life to be about. Whether, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not financially able to just like open up an orphanage to help, you know, adopted kids out or anything like that. That would be awesome. A lot of that stuff's a pipe dream, but for where I'm at right now, like, this is what I want this channel to be about, not just old school RuneScape. It's like a community, bro. Like, to give people what I never had. That's kind of what I'm after. So, oh, right, one more. I should have fucking did this. I guess I'll make another video or another post or something to reach out to. What my plan was for Road to Max Plat, though, I know I should have probably talked about that more because a lot of people like are more interested in that. I don't really care about the gold. Like, I made 3 or 4 bill, gave it away, and then I started over from nothing and made it again in less than a year. Like, whatever, right? You know, I don't want to just stop doing content, helping people how to make money. But I just don't want to do the Max Plat anything again. You know what I mean? Like, I like my community, you know, the Discord, 350 plus people, whatever. The new person comes in. This is amazing. They come in, they go, I need help. And we all just spam them with all of their knowledge. We just go, Bruh! And then that person is like now in a position to go from making no money on RuneScape to making something and having a fun time, not in a state of need to get gear. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to spend real money on bonds to buy gear and then have to worry about paying for ramen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's an amazing feeling, and I don't want to let that go. So I still make content doing that or whatever. Try to promote like maybe to keep this server, start another server, like an overall community server, as my boy shout out Nexine. He suggested that I make another one for just like normal community shit. But oh yeah. Okay, it's starting to slip. You know what I'm saying? Like, medicine helps a lot, but I'm still all over the place. You know, because I feel like I have a very severe case of ADHD. But for the Road to Max Plat, because I know I promised a drop party, and that's what I feel the most bad about the drop party. That was my inner self cheating its way out. Like, when I was lying to myself, I'm going to do it for status, I'm going to be the greatest, I'm going to be wanted finally. All that insecurity, all those feelings, the part of me that, like, who I am trying to nurture now, the only thing that actually kept me going, the thing that was actually the sustenance that allowed me to, like, my spirit and my mind and my soul or whatever to line up and feed me dopamine to continue the challenge, was the drop party. If I did not think of giving all the money away, not for, you know, like, it's a cool story to like say no to 200 grand worth of GP, and I think it's more money now. It's a really cool story, but that's not even the important part, like how cool that would make me. That was just the to appease the lie character that I built for myself. What I really wanted was to do something amazing for the community, and like having the biggest drop party ever is just like such a cool thing. Like my favorite thing RuneScape has ever done has been the donation well. And when that was out, man, I was just like taking all my extra GP and I was trying to donate as much GP, which wasn't that, like, if that happened now, I would just dump it all in there, bro. Like, to donate to charities or whatever Jagex was doing, bro, that was insanely peak. But I feel really bad about not being able to do the drop party. And I don't think that, like, so I'm at like 4 or 5 bill or something like that, right? I could swap all my money from RS3, maybe probably make it like 5, 6 bill or something, right? And I could work on it part-time and grow the pile up and then try to do some sort of big drop party or something like that. But like where I think I'm coming around to, and I doubt, like, this is why I'm kind of like frustrated that I put it here, is that like, I don't think I should have the drop party because I'm not as committed to old school RuneScape as the people who I look up to on old school RuneScape. And I know Odablock is doing one for his max party. And this is why I'm slapping myself in the face for this. And I feel stupid now. It's like, I want to reach out to Odablock and don't, like, if he's interested, selling all the stuff I have and giving him all my money. Cause it's like, I think he's up to like 6 bill right now. So I'd effectively either almost double it or double it just for his community and let him profit from it because he deserves that spot because he serves the diehard RuneScapers, which I am sort of. Like, I have 1 foot in that camp, but not, he deserves it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing I'm trying to find in myself, he has, in a way, I feel just from watching his content, I love watching his content, most of it, sorry, that he is all in on RuneScape. So, like, who better a person to take all that money? And then, like, I don't know, like, I had one idea to do that, but then I had also another idea, and then this kind of spawned a third idea. So the other idea was to, like, keep Max Plat going, but, like, open up the donation gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people, I've come to meet a lot of people in my little community who have, like, big bags of GP who are bigger than me. And I was going to start using, like, just ask if they just donate to it, just open up, like, just make a donation pool and then keep that, like, you know, if I streamed, I would just track that and be like, you know, the RuneScape pool is this or whatever, or contact Jagex if we could, like, open up some sort of personal donation, like, make it their thing. Like, hey, can you host I would really like for you guys to host a drop party because you would handle it a lot more effectively than I would be able to, you know what I mean? They'd have the resources to, like, mitigate bots getting in and all that other shit, you know what I'm saying? They could use it for their, you know what I mean? They could create a system because they control the code and shit. So there was that idea. Like, so, you know, the first one was that idea. That was the first thought I had. The second thought was just to reach out to Odablock. But then my third idea, which is kind of a mixture of the two, was to encourage people to donate to me so that we could all just give it to Odablock. Like, I just want to, like, it's not about gaining status from it, though, like, obviously Odablock would gain status from it because, you know, whoever's doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it works. People who have big charity events, there's somebody getting some sort of status from it and moving up the social hierarchy because of it. That's not even, like, that important at all to me. Like, status be damned. Like, technically, like, if I didn't need money to take care of my family, I technically have literally everything I've ever wanted. The one thing I've ever wanted in my entire life was a wife. I got the girl of my dreams. And the family, you know, the 2 best kids I could ever ask for, among other things that are, like, you know, I have a computer, internet, free time to play video games, all the things I ever wanted as a kid, plus my adult wants, like wanting a wife, wanting just a family, just to live a life with a family. You know what I mean? Like, that thing I never got in my family, I created it. Like, and it's amazing. It's beyond anything I could have ever asked for. So that's why I'm just saying that, like, that I don't care about the status or nuking my channel or if people don't like me anymore, is because I'm finally waking up to what's actually important to me, and it's that. So I'm just saying all that because I don't want anybody to care, like, anybody who listens to this to care about status of it or whatever. And I would just, like, encourage, if I did go this route, which I'm starting to feel it, like, to encourage people, if I can reach out to Odablock or somebody can get a hold of Odablock through, like, his chat, or, you know, maybe I'll chat. I don't know. I'm just trying to, I'm making this video, you know, I feel good about it. I'll reach out to him, and if he's interested, I'll fucking get on all my accounts and fucking do the stupid 6 hours of work it's going to take to get everything sold off, blah, 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 blah. Whatever I get, maybe it's less than what I said, and I'm just going to even feel dumber because I thought it was this, but it's that, whatever. But who cares? It's not, like, whatever. If he's willing to take my money, you ain't got to credit me or nothing. Don't give a shit. The point of the entire thing is the impact it'll have on people who play RuneScape, because that's what I want to give to people, is, like, the impact RuneScape had on me to others, because it's weird to think about, like, a silly little MMO, like, click RuneScape. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to people outside of the space, it looks so silly that it's so meaningful, but it is like one of the core things that made me who I am today, and it helped me find myself, and it got me through a lot of really hard times. And I met a lot of really cool people, and I discovered a lot about myself because of RuneScape and the social aspects of it. Like if I didn't have RuneScape as a way to vent and talk to people and have conversations and start to learn how to build social bonds, I would not have anything I have today. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like that's why it's so important to me, and why I felt so bad that everybody, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who could say like, oh, you're not getting the drop party, get over it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing it out of my own volition, so you shouldn't be mad at it. But like I understand that people would be upset that it's not happening, and I just feel really bad because I wanted to try to give that to other people to hopefully in some way replicate what RuneScape did to me for them. That's what I'm saying. So that's where I'm at with Max Plat. Like I said, it's like I was going to get on here and say it's gone, but it's really shelved. I may come back to it eventually. It's just like the cards I got right now, it's impossible to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like set up any false hope out there for people who are going to get into this thinking that they're going to be a part of a big thing that will never happen. So ultimately that was the goal of this video, and was to just kind of like release the chains on top of that too. But yeah, we'll see where we go from here. You know, I'll stream randomly periodically or whatever, or make some sort of Discord or whatever, talk to the mod team. I don't know, whatever, where I'm going to go from here, except for that, it is what it is. And hopefully I'll see you guys in a chat, in a video, whatever. I want to thank everybody who's been involved in this little YouTube channel. It's really cool. There's like 10 solid dudes I've really met who are cool people that I'm happy who I talk to now daily. I just give him a quick shout. I forgot his like name on Discord. It's like Jacob Osrs or something like that. He just lost some accounts. I feel really bad for him, but man, that's just part of the game, brother. But he's a solid guy. Shout out Nexine. Shout out EK. Shout out everybody. I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna try to find their name specifically. Allo, Mr. Tebow. He's cool as hell. Shiny Mew, the GOAT. He makes me feel like a bitch every time he shows something. He's like me times 100 in terms of like progression and net worth. Great player and great trader, etc. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a really helpful guy, points new people to the channel, whatever. It's really cool. Awesome. I said Nexine. Shout out 07GG for giving me a shot at like sponsorship and making me feel really cool about that, man. I hope your product does really well. I will still plug it whenever I can. Big ups to you, bro. I hope you get rich as fuck. 07GG. It's not a sponsor, whatever. I won't put a link or whatever, so I don't have to put that on the whatever. But shout out big, 07GG, big man, big dog. He's been cool as hell. Tenshi, new guy, really took what he took the method and he ran with it. Optimized it. Hope the best for you. Shout out Yu-Gi-Oh and Chill, the OG Yu-Gi-Oh man himself from my past. Corsica, I know you're kind of dealing with some shit, but I see you. You've been a real swell guy. Hope you figure your shit out. Frosty, the free-to-play masochist, I'd say. Leptin, haven't really seen you for a while. Big shout out to you, too. And I guess I'll just check out who my members are, too, because I feel like they deserve a big love. Like, I still don't understand why people pay me money to exist, but it's really cool. But, yeah, so members, shout out Micra. You were the last guy who paid me to talk shit effectively. Shout out EK07GG, Corsica, Pathos4, Lucian Stolas, Nexine, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Chill. And I think that will be a good spot to wrap it up. Very based production value here, very base scripting, very based. The most based epic content you've probably ever seen in your life. Hands down, there's no arguments against it. Like, that makes sense, obviously, because I said so. I'm on the internet. Whatever. And I will sign off with like some streaming or something, or I don't know. Cool. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I really like thinking about how I don't care that I'll just randomly talk for 55 minutes straight to a camera and think, or with the chance that no one will actually listen through it. And I don't care. I really like that because I like doing it. So until next time, catch you later.